Kayla Harrison, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Kayla, I want to talk about the fight itself first. There's many other factors to get to, but I'm really more interested in that. In particular, I'd be curious to know what you thought from a game plan perspective was the most important threats from her, obviously your opponent Julianna Pena, to neutralize.
Great question. Not a lot of people have talked about this today, so thank you. I think, we talked a lot about in the build up to this fight, her heart, her fighter mentality. I did believe that I was better everywhere, on the feet, grappling, like all of it. So I think for me, not necessarily neutralizing anything from her, but being disciplined in my game plan and like not, 25 minutes is a long time. 5 rounds is a long time. And so being disciplined, and really one thing that my coaches and I focused on was not getting in brawls, because when you do that, then it becomes 50-50. So just like, hey, it's okay. Take a step back, circle out, pick your shots, but don't stand right in front of her and trade. Like that's her only chance. And so, yeah, just keeping my composure and not brawling was a big factor, I think.
To what extent, I've been doing a lot of research on how the wall changes takedowns for both judokas or former judokas and former wrestlers as well, and how they're kind of adapting it. To what extent how much has the wall changed your game, and how much of it has it aided? Give me a sense of how the wall has substantively altered your game.
I mean, it's definitely, it takes time to get used to that. It's different. I feel like the wall can either be a third leg and like a really excellent balancing tool, or it can be a trap where you're stuck on it. And for me, again, I sound repetitive, but the most important piece of learning how to grapple on a cage was being patient and not putting myself in bad positions, realizing that hey, they're on the cage. It's their job to try and get off. And when they do, that's when I'm going to capitalize.
So in going through the takedown sequences that you used on Pena, a lot of it seemed to be you would step over her outside leg. And again, I don't know all of the judo terminology, so I'm not, there's some of it I know, but not much. But then she would resist.
And then what you do know. I want to
So I did see you hit one Koichigari, right? Yeah. I think that was the second takedown. Yes. But it was all kind of a similar idea where you would step to threaten, she would react, and then you would step in the middle, and then there'd be some kind of kicking out the post leg or whatever the case may be. I'm wondering about something. A lot of wrestling-based takedowns are starting to get harder and harder to come by, right? And what you're seeing is, in Justin Flores, J-Flow has a whole, he calls it wall waza, this whole system of using some of those reactions that people have built up around wrestling sensibilities to then employ a Kosoto hook, Koichigari like you did. Yep. And I'm wondering, is Kayla Harrison, among other ones, helping judo to make a bit of a comeback in MMA through this context?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to take any credit for that, but I do agree with your analysis that, you saw early in my career. I mean, I wasn't even a wrestler, but I was blast double city, just blast them into the wall. And it is getting a lot harder. People have gotten a lot better at defending double legs, single legs, high crotches, things like that. And so, and I also think that I have been a judoka for 30 years now, almost. So, this is what got me to where I am. Don't abandon it now. Yeah. And it's tough. It's tough to defend something that you haven't spent a lifetime building up. I know that I'm going to be the better judoka in every single fight I have ever. I don't care if you brought in a judo coach. I don't care if you're learning defense or trips or whatever, like kochis and ochis, and like I could do those in my sleep. So.
But do you think, is there something to the idea that this kind of thing that you're already clearly ahead of the pack on? For example, I saw Pantoja use a Kosoto hook to pull an opponent off the fence. Like there's just little creeps of judo I'm starting to see more and more. Is this the future?
I mean, I think that, like most sports, MMA will go in a cycle. Like in judo, maybe Uchimata becomes a very highly used technique for a while, and then people start to use Askashi, or they go to a different, like, it will be cyclical. I do believe, especially in the men, that wrestling is key, but like anti-wrestling has become very, very good in especially amongst the men. So you're gonna have to find different ways to get your opponent to the ground. And judo is, I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's an excellent base for MMA.
Okay. Was the fight easier than you expected? I was going through and looking at the tape, and like statistically, this is, I mean, the home one is a little close, but this is statistically maybe your strongest performance. And just on tape, it wasn't really, I mean, I guess the illegal up kick was a moment of adversity, but not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question I'm asking is, not only did you perform very well, obviously, but like it seems like it got a little smoother this time too. In addition to like the growth that you're exhibiting.
Yeah.
Tell me how you felt about that.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's funny because in the fight, I kind of had one of those moments where it's like, when you think something is too good to be true, you're like what's going on here? But I felt she hit me like one time, maybe. I felt it. She was very like, I was like, this girl beat Amanda. Like, this girl is like, I was surprised. And even so much to the point where like, I definitely could have unleashed in the first round, and I think probably found a finish or a sub or a TKO. But I was like, all right, well, just in case, like 25 minutes is a long time. Let's be smart. You just won a 10-8 round. Like, let's pick our shots. Like, maybe the second round, she's going to come out and do something totally different, because the first round can be a feeling out process, and can be kind of like we're checking each other out. But yeah. And I also think if I learned anything from this fight, it's to never doubt my abilities again. Like, a lot of talk went into like, oh, she's going to try and drag you into deep waters, and you're going to get tired, and you're going to, and she's so tough, you're not going to be able to finish her. And Amanda couldn't even finish her, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But like, no, like, I am who I say I am. I'm the best fighter in the world. And it's time that I act like that and remember that.
3 fights into the UFC, like basically 20 plus fights into your career. I think something along those lines.
20
yeah.
fights.
How much stronger are you physically than your opposition, particularly at 35?
I think that people would be surprised. I'm not that much stronger.
You're right. I would be surprised to hear that.
I don't think that I'm like, I mean, like, I didn't feel a lot stronger than Ketlin. I felt like she was very physical. And so I don't think that I know that I'm physically gifted, but I don't think that it's like outrageous. I think that I just have a good skill set and an indomitable will and the best team. And yeah, I think I'm kind of the perfect package.
All right. So there's many things about the good side of this victory I would like to discuss, but and this is not the bad side, but it's definitely the tough side. That weight cut. Now, I've known you for quite some time, and I've seen you compete at a variety of different weights. Obviously, in judo, you were competing, like the low 170s, I believe. How much are you giving up athletically to get to 35? In other words, like, if you could just pick to have maximum physical ability, where would that weight be? And like, to what extent is 35 a depletion of that standard?
Yeah. Well, I think that at 155 pounds, I was probably a little too small, but because of my skill set and years of being on the mat, I was able to make it work. I think probably 145 pounds would be ideal for me. Yeah, I think that would be a good.
Do you when you go out there on fight night, can you feel the difference about where you ordinarily would be? I mean, I get that you're in shape. It's not like you're not prepared. But again, I'm talking about like the optimum standard. Can you feel a difference?
No, I don't feel like less than compared to when I competed at 155 pounds, or the one time I did compete at 145 pounds. I think that also, like, I have brought in a slew of experts to help with the weight cut, rehydration, proper nutrition. I mean, it's no secret that I did compete at 172 pounds, but I was also eating like pizza rolls and diet. Like I was like eating 6,000 calories a day. Like I was a 20-year-old kid who didn't, I didn't know anything about nutrition, and I didn't I won the Olympics on pizza rolls, Diet Coke, Oreos, Hot Pockets. Like it was not not ideal. And this time around, I'm blessed with like the resources to be able to do that, to be able to have one less thing to think about with my team. And all credit to them. You're right. It's not an easy process. It's absolute hell. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Maybe people don't like that some people are like, don't talk about your weight cut. Like they don't need to know. But I mean, I think everybody knows when they look at me on the scale, like it's not fucking pretty. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. But that's why I give a lot of credit to my team. And like there was like a picture online where it was like me on the scale and then me at the ceremonials, and I look like a totally different person. Yeah. And that's Eric Pena, and that's Dara, and that's from Platinum Plate. And that's like, they have got it down to a science. And the UFC PI is like super involved. Like they know what's going on. The whole time Eric is like checking my blood pressure and checking my heart rate and checking my blood sugar. Like everybody's so dialed in. So all credit goes to them.
Is there a way to help us understand? I mean, as somebody who was obviously an elite athlete for long stretches of their life, you are accustomed to hard training. There's really no way around that. But the degree to which you have to put in road work or two-a-days just as a weight management tool, is there anything in your background that is remotely equivalent to that?
No. No. It's different. Judo is a 4-year grind to get to the Olympics, and it's a long road. It's hard. But again, I was eating, I was drinking, I was traveling the world with my best friends. I wasn't making any money, but I loved it. And it was my dream. This is a different kind of discipline that, again, I feel grateful. It has changed me, and it has made me better. I don't enjoy, like, I don't know. Like, I guess like when you leveling up or like healing or growing, like nobody tells you how fucking painful it is, right? Like you have to break in order to be rebuilt. And it's hard, and nobody tells you that, but I can tell you it is worth it.
Well, is there okay, obviously winning the title is the benefit, but I suppose, is there any other benefit to this mode of training athletically? Is there other kind of payoff along the way?
You mean like putting myself through this?
Yeah. I guess the mental challenge of it all.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think that's what I mean when I say like I'm grateful for it. I look at, I make jokes all the time, like whoever my future husband is better like chubby women, because like, it's just like I'm not built for this skinny shit. But I do believe that who I become in the process, like, dude, 15 weeks out, I go on a diet. I only eat what my chef sends to me. 14 weeks out, I start walking 6 miles every day. I walk 6 miles, I bike for 2 hours, or I swim for an hour and a half every day. And on Sunday, it's 8 miles. I don't have a day off ever. for those 14 weeks. And I didn't take a day off at all this last camp. Sometimes you get sick or whatever, but I didn't get sick. I didn't take a day off. 6 weeks out, I start heat acclimation. So at 9 o'clock at night, after I put my kids to bed, I go sit in a sauna for an hour by myself and, you know, talk to God and think about, hopefully this is fucking worth it. And yeah, dude, who I become during that process, I am refined in the fire. And I thought that I was unbreakable before. And again, look, the stuff that I've been through in my life, the things that have happened for a reason. They positioned me to be this person. Like I am who I am because of all of it. And I'm grateful for it because I look at myself in the mirror, and the peace I have, I'm not sure many people have, you know, like I am eternally grateful for that. And I give credit to the creator for that because, yeah. I mean, I have a peace that doesn't really make sense.
All right. I promise I have many more questions I could ask you about it, but I don't want to dwell on it any more than I have to, but it is an interesting phenomenon that you have to go through. It doesn't seem like, okay, it takes a very special person to be able to do what you're doing, to win the title, to put yourself through this kind of training, like all that stuff. But if we're just talking about the training itself and then the weight management that's required to be this division, doesn't seem from the outside looking in, even though you have done it at the highest level possible in this weight class, that it's something you can do for a whole lot longer. Is that a fair assumption?
I mean, probably. I live here in the present moment. I take it one day at a time, one fight at a time, like one step at a time. I just keep showing up and doing the next right thing. And slowly that turns into, you know, my dreams coming true. But I believe that I'll know when I'm done. And I'm not going to lie to you. Friday morning, I thought about retiring on Saturday night. I'm not gonna lie to you. It takes a piece of your soul. It takes a piece out of you, but it also builds a piece of you that, again, I've been talking about it. I will never be able to do it justice or explain it. I don't have the words for it, but yeah, I'll know when it's done. I'll know when it's time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things where, and we'll talk about it in just a second, Amanda Nunes should be at 35, 45, not so much retirement ultimately, but just how much is available at 35. But okay, I promise we'd move on, so we shall. Now, let's talk about something else related to this victory, which is you're a multiple-time Olympic gold medalist, the most decorated judoka in American history, male or female. You won titles in PFL. Now you have a title in UFC. I'm not asking you to so much compare them as like which one is more valuable to you, but I guess I would ask in terms of how the reward feels after accomplishing it, how does that compare to the PFL, to the Olympic titles?
Yeah. I have had a lot of similar emotions after winning this belt as I did the first time I won the Olympics. The feeling of being in a dream, just kind of like cloud nine. You dream of, like, my goal was always to become UFC champion. When I started MMA, like, that, maybe nobody else thought that, but that's what I wanted. And so I've been dreaming about this for a long time and visualizing it and thinking about it and like feeling that, having Dana White wrap the belt around my waist, like hearing Bruce Buffer, like it was very similar to winning the Olympics the first time. Just like, holy shit, I cannot believe my life. I really can't believe my life too, by the way. Like, I'm just like, what?
Really? I mean, for someone who's been competing so long and winning for so long, I'm not here to say like, oh, it's no big deal. Of course, it's a big deal.
I know, but I can't believe it. I guess it's just because, like, to most people in my life, I'm still just Kayla. But like, when you look at where I was and where I started, I mean, even just talk about statistically what are the chances of an American winning the Olympics in judo, right? Like there are millions of judoka in Japan. There are millions of judoka in France. Russia's got a huge, Brazil's huge. The year that I won the Olympics, there were 9,000 registered judokas in the United States. So out of 9,000 judoka, how many are eligible to maybe make an Olympic team? Let's say maybe 1,000, right? So we have 1,000 versus millions. Like statistically, what are the fucking odds of that happening, of it actually happening? And then you add on like my life story and the trauma and the like mental shit that I had to overcome to get to that point. And then I went and did it again. Like I did it again. And that Olympics, I didn't even get scored on. Like I didn't even lose a point. And then I transitioned into MMA and I have this, like, I can't believe my life sometimes. I'm like, how is this possible? Yeah.
Keep showing up. I guess I'm going to keep wrapping belts around you. Let's talk about where this is all kind of headed. You have to be excited for a number of reasons, not least of which is I feel like you versus Amanda is scheduled to we don't know when it's going to happen, but presumably sometime in the relatively recent future, or near future, I should say. I feel like the women's game needs a big fight. Don't you? Isn't this like something that like a shot in the arm that it just needs so badly right now?
I do. Yeah. And this is me standing on the shoulders of the women who've come before me. The Rondas, Joanna and Wei Li, their fight. Like this is my moment, but this is also a moment for women's MMA. I really, truly believe that. And I want us to be so good that people leave with a different view of women's MMA. And like, yeah.
Did I just hear a rooster?
Yeah.
Yeah. You keep chickens?
I have like 70 chickens.
You have 70 chickens.
Yeah.
It's a lot of maintenance.
A lot of chicken shit.
A lot of good eggs. Eggs are great.
A lot of good eggs. Yeah.
All right. Getting back to this rivalry. Getting back to this rivalry between you and Amanda, could you clarify? Because it seemed like you guys were competitive, but relatively chummy after your win on Saturday night. So, like, what is the story about how you guys trained together from your vantage point, and ultimately her departure from ATT, and like what this all means?
Yeah. Well, when I first came down to visit American Top Team, I trained with Amanda, and I was like, oh, I'm moving to American Top Team. Like I trained with her and I was like, this is where I need to be. And during that time, I always made myself readily available. Like if you need a punching bag, if you need a drilling partner, if you need whatever, like call me, I'm your girl. And there wasn't a lot of, we didn't train together a lot. I don't know if that was her call, the coach's call, whatever. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. I'm grateful for the times we did train together. It was awesome. When she left the team, initially I thought it was because she lost and she just needed a change of scenery. But I guess she has said in interviews since then that she left because of me. And I can only assume it's because I was there the night that she lost to Julianna. And at that time I was I think I was a restricted free agent. I can't remember exactly, but I think in her head, like what we did on Saturday night, I think she thought that like I was going to get in the cage and like challenge her. And that just wasn't the case. Like we weren't even, that was never going to happen. First of all, I would never have done that because she was my teammate and because I do have respect for her. And also, by the way, like everyone at American Top Team was doing everything they could to not let that, they wanted me to stay in the PFL to keep making money. They wanted her to stay in UFC. Like they were happy with having both of us cruising, So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's probably why she left. I also made it no secret that I wanted to fight her from day one. Like, and I meant it from a place of respect. Like to me, that's an honor. If someone says they want to fight me, I'm like, oh, they must think very highly of me. Like that's how I feel about it. And there's no animosity on my side. There's no bad blood. There's no ill will. You know, she is great as a person and a great fighter. And I just I want to test myself. I want to go in there and see what I'm made of.
What does beating her turn you into?
I don't know. I mean, it's for me. It's not for anybody else. Like, I do feel like this is my destiny. I do feel like this is what I'm being called to do, but I could walk away tomorrow and be very satisfied. I'm at peace with my career. I have done enough, and I have nothing left to prove to myself or to anyone else, but this is on my heart for whatever reason. This is what I want to do. This is got me fired up. And yeah, I think whatever everyone says, like, I'm good. I don't care if you call me the greatest, if you call me what, like, I don't care what you call me.
Do you want this fight at 45? If the UFC came to you and said, we'll take it at 45, would you accept it on those terms?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
With arms wide open.
Okay, I just had to make sure. Now, with that being said, imagine you get to call the shot. Imagine Dana and Hunter call you up and say, tell us when this fight is going to be and where it's going to be. It would be
whenever Amanda feels most comfortable. I want the very best Amanda in that cage, and I'll be ready. I'm going to stay ready. I'm going to be training hard. I'll be ready no matter where it is, when it is, what weight it is. It's my time.
If I may, with just a couple of minutes we have remaining here, you have an incredible coaching staff. You have Mike Thomas Brown, who, WEC legend, UFC fighter before. I have to tell you, I am most curious about Steve Mocco in your corner. Steve Mocco, incredible collegiate wrestler, Olympian, the whole 9 yards. Didn't really go into MMA as a fighter, but has been a coach.
Judo black belt.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He had foot sweeps in collegiate wrestling as well. He was famous for this. I know all this.
They call it the Mocco foot sweep. I'm like, that's the Sai.
He gave me the funniest interview that I never published ever. I actually one time tried to go interview him. I forget who he was there for. This was at Jones versus Glover Teixeira in Baltimore many moons ago, and he clearly didn't want to do any interviews and then gave me answers that indicated that. I'm wondering, like, can you give me a sense of both? Obviously, he's there for what? Wrestling, grappling, that kind of a thing. But, like, his reputation in college was hard-nosed, in your face, But he's an older guy now. So, like, what is the vibe like with him?
I mean, Mocco's still whooping people's ass on the mat, so I don't know how old you think. He ain't that old. I'll tell you that.
All right.
No, he is. First of all, I am extremely close with him and his wife. She's one of my best friends. Our kids are the same age. Like, we're going to the beach with them tomorrow morning. But he's another big reason I moved to American Top Team. I used to compete against his sister in judo. I know that he knows judo. He trains judo. He had an understanding of what I was coming to the table with. Him, Mike, like, excellent team. And he's an integral part of my success. Like, that Kimura, I drill that with Mocco all the time. Kimura to north-south to crucifix, back, I mean, I drill with Mike and Mocco, but, like, he's the man. He is kind of, dude, he is scary. I also do love that about him. Mike is more of a quiet leader, and he's more cerebral, right? Like, he's going to talk to you about technique, and he's going to, like, I think you should have done this. Like, but he's not going to ride your ass. Like, he's not going to be like, he's not going to yell at you. And, like, Steve has yelled at me maybe twice. I'm pretty self-disciplined at this point in my career. I'm old enough. Like, I'm not a young kid. They don't have to tell me what, like, to work hard. I'm going to work hard. But he's yelled at me maybe twice, and it was one of the scariest like, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to stop. Yeah.
Have you seen the documentary that he was in college?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was the most intense quote when he was like, I like wrestling because I like beating them so bad that they no longer recognize themselves and they change as people. I was like, okay, that's a little psychotic. But it worked. I mean, he was an amazing wrestler. Yeah. So, I mean,
he's an amazing wrestler, an amazing coach, an amazing friend. He actually whooped my ass in Rummy on fight week. He's not even a good card player, but he somehow ended up winning the Rummy tournament. So Mako's the man.
Last one for me. I also noticed in the cage on Saturday night when there was a big group of everyone, I saw Jimmy Pedro Jr. I saw Jimmy Pedro Sr., if my memory serves.
Yep.
Obviously, these are coaches that you had growing up through judo, but I guess my question would be, not that are they supportive, clearly they are. Has the judo community embraced this latest run of yours?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I think so. I don't know about like internationally, but even just at the fight, there were probably 50 people that I trained with in judo growing up throughout the years. We had like a little post-fight celebration at a diner, and they were all there. Like the New York Athletic Club, who was a sponsor of mine during judo, they brought a whole crew. Like my judo manager, the Team USA manager, Skelly, he was there with his whole crew. Like they're my best friends, Marty and Angie and Hannah, who I was on the teams with for years. Like, yeah, they've all been supportive and they've all had my back. And the only one who didn't was that little shit Max Schneider. I'm kidding.
I'll leave that to him. Kayla, what an achiever you are. This is an incredible moment. Congratulations on the win, all the success. I don't know when the fight with Amanda will be, but I know that it is hotly anticipated by the fan base, due for the sport in general. And whether it's your crowning achievement or not, it doesn't matter. Everything you've done to this point has been one for the record books. Congratulations, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the platform. And thank you we've been talking for a long time now, and I appreciate it. It's been a hell of a ride, but we're here, baby.
It certainly is. I appreciate all the time as well. Thank you.
Thank you.